I want you to picture this. You post something you feel good about. You know it was solid. You know it was honest. You know it was you. Then you check the numbers and your chest tightens. No comments, low likes, quiet. Now your whole day feels off. That right there is not marketing feedback. That is spiritual and emotional dependency. Because if your peace rises and falls with engagement, you are not building a business. You are feeding an altar. Welcome to the Becoming Her podcast. I am Faye, and today we are going to talk about the most normal idol nobody wants to name. Approval, not the obvious kind. The sneaky kind that hides behind, I am just trying to grow. Listen closely. There is a difference between tracking data and worshiping it. There is a difference between learning your audience and needing your audience to regulate you. There is a difference between stewardship and sacrifice. And some of you have been sacrificing your nervous system on the altar of attention. Here is what it looks like in real life. You refresh your analytics like it is a prayer ritual. You wait for the dopamine hit of a notification like it is proof that you matter. You start writing for reactions instead of truth. You start editing your voice until it sounds like everyone else. You start chasing what performs, not what is aligned. And then you call it business. But it is not business when your identity is on the line. It is not business when silence feels like rejection. It is not business when you cannot rest unless strangers clap. That is bondage. Here's where people get stuck. They think the issue is content. They think the issue is consistency. They think the issue is strategy. But the real issue is lordship. Because whatever has the power to move your emotions like that has authority in your life. I want to put language on it. When your peace depends on engagement, engagement becomes your provider. And when something becomes your provider, it becomes your God. Jesus said you cannot serve two masters. That is not just about money. That is about control. Whoever controls your peace is the one you are serving. Now, let me say this. I am not telling you to stop caring about results. I am telling you to stop letting results define your worth, your calling, and your emotional stability. There is nothing holy about being emotionally whipped around by a metric. That is not discernment. That is addiction. And yes, it is an addiction because your brain learns the loop. Post, wait, check, hit, crash, repeat. And the more you repeat it, the more your body starts living in a constant state of anticipation. That is why you feel restless. That is why you feel pressure. That is why you cannot be present. You are not just running a business. You are running a nervous system that is exhausted from constant evaluation. But God did not call you to live under the tyranny of reactions. You were never meant to be governed by applause. You were meant to be governed by obedience. Let us get biblical. Galatians says, if I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. That is plain. That means people pleasing is not a personality quirk. It is a competing allegiance. And Proverbs tells us that the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Some of you are trying to get rich with a system that adds sorrow every day. Sorrow when the numbers drop. Sorrow when people do not validate you. Sorrow when you feel invisible. That is not the blessing of God. That is the weight of performance. Here is the hard truth. Every business stands on something. Some businesses stand on skill and calling submitted to God. Other businesses stand on anxiety, image management, and striving. And you can tell what you built it on by what it costs you to maintain it. If it costs you your peace, you are paying too much. If it costs you your integrity, you are paying too much. If it costs you your family, your health, your sleep, and your joy, you are paying too much. And if it costs you your ability to hear God because your mind is always loud, you are paying too much. So what do? You pull the plug on the altar, and that starts with repentance, not rebranding. You stop pretending this is just about marketing. You call it what it is. I have been craving approval. I have been using engagement as emotional regulation. I have been measuring my worth with numbers. I have been negotiating my voice to be liked. That is the confession. Then you rebuild, and rebuilding looks like this. You decide ahead of time what success means, not what the algorithm rewards, not what your competitors are doing, not what people in your comments praise. You decide what obedience looks like. You decide what integrity looks like. You decide what pace you can sustain. You decide what kind of woman you are becoming while you build, because a platform is not a prize if it turns you into someone you do not respect. Now, let me pause here and share something with you that I keep as a standing resource. If you are a woman navigating work, calling, purpose, ambition, and integrity in a performance driven world, my book, Righteousness in the Marketplace, is for you. It teaches you how to build a business or career that honors God. It addresses integrity, identity, and resisting performance culture, because success should not cost your soul. If you feel pressure to prove, strive, compromise, or lose yourself in the pursuit of success, you need that message in your life. Righteousness in the Marketplace is available in print, as an ebook, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, and wherever books are sold. For a full list of retailers, go to fayjoneslive.com/rim. Now, back to this. A healthy business strategy can include tracking performance, but a healthy soul does not worship performance. So here is a practical recalibration. Check your analytics on purpose, not compulsively. If you cannot set boundaries with the numbers are not tools anymore. They are masters. Another recalibration. Post from conviction, not craving. Ask yourself one question before you hit publish. If nobody responds, would I still be glad I said this? If the answer is no, you are not ready to post it, because you are posting it as an offering to people, not as obedience to God. Another recalibration. Let silence expose you. Silence is not always rejection. Sometimes silence is deliverance, because silence reveals what you are attached to. It reveals what you expected. It reveals what you needed. And once it is revealed, you can surrender it. I will take it even deeper. Some of you are not afraid of failure. You are afraid of being unseen, because being unseen forces you to confront the question you have been dodging. Who am I when nobody claps? And the answer is, you are still called. You are still anointed. You are still a daughter. You are still assigned. Your worth does not rise with attention. Your worth was settled at the cross. So do not hand that authority to an algorithm. Listen closely. God is not building your brand just to make you visible. He is building your character so you can carry what He gives you. And if you cannot carry silence with peace, you will not carry visibility with humility. So, let us land this. If your peace rises and falls with engagement, you are not building a business. You are feeding an altar. But you can tear that altar down. You can choose obedience over applause. You can choose peace over performance. You can choose to build with clean hands and a clear conscience. And that is where real authority comes from. Let me recap. Engagement is data, not identity. Analytics are tools, not lordship. Silence is not death, it is a test. And God did not call you to be ruled by reactions. He called you to be rooted in Him. Thank you for listening to the Becoming Her podcast. You can listen on my website, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify. Follow or subscribe so you do not miss what is coming next. And if this episode helped you, leave a review. Reviews help the podcast grow and make it more discoverable for the women who need this message.